You should be able to read that A-OK. Then we have, I'll explain this, and then we're going to get into the action with what Charles and Thomas are doing. They're currently got a whole lot of cultist death going on right there. And then I'm going to go through the lists, and then we should be good from there. So if you'll give me a second, I also have to put us live on the Facebooks. And then as soon as we're live there, I will go into detail on everything that's happening. So right now, life is good. All right. This is exciting.
And then this does this other. So how does that actually go? And I'm like, add them all up, and then take away all the minuses, and then figure it out from there. Let's see. Give me the exact language of the script.
So in Warzone Resurrection, they use the mathematical principle of multiply, divide, add, subtract. Because that's what you do in math class. So, yep. All right. And we are now live on Facebook as well. What is up, folks? As you can see here on the screen, we have our mission, and I'm going to read through that so we can understand what's going on. And then they're also in round 2. Currently, Thomas with his Space Marines and Bobby G. You can see him on the top right next to a tank. He's behind a barrel. I'm going to see if I can move the camera in a second to show you what's going on, because right now we have this in the way right there. But he's got some models there moving up, making their advancement. It's great. So Charles has his T-Sons, and they are definitely cool-looking models. This is a great contrast here between the blue and the greens. So they're rolling most of their dice in front of this bottom left webcam. So you should be able to see that A-OK. Some of the dice may look a little blown out because the white, we've got a light up here, adding a little bit of brightness here at the store. There's actually no lights directly above this table, so we have to add in a couple of extra lights. It's exciting. All right, so let's get into the mission. We are currently in round 4 out of 5 of the tournament. So this setup is called Dig Site. So players place 6 retrieval objective markers before rolling to determine the deployment map or choosing deployment zones. Each retrieval objective marker must be placed at least 6 inches from any board edge and at least 12 inches from any other retrieval objective marker. In addition, no more than 2 retrieval objective markers may be placed in any quarter of the table. That's pretty cool. So they had it pretty well spread out. Primary objective modified retrieval. Beginning in the first battle round, at the beginning of their own turn, a player may choose to dig any of the retrieval objective markers that they control. They may choose to dig or not separately for each marker. If a player decides to dig a particular marker, they immediately earn 1 victory point for that marker. They must then roll a d6. If the result is equal to or less than the number of current battle round, so in this case 2, remove the retrieval marker from the table. This result may be re-rolled using command re-roll stratagem. Repeat this process for each retrieval objective that the active player elects to dig. At the end of the game, all remaining retrieval objectives are worth 3 victory points to the player who controls them. Interesting. Very cool. So here's the margin. Triumph, 18 plus victory points. If you win by 12 to 17, you get 14 points, and the loss is 3 points. Success, margin of 5 to 11 is 12 to 4. Pyrrhic is 5 and 10, and a draw, each person gets 7. I like it. Let's check out our secondary objectives. Immediately following deployment, use the Warzone kill points rules to determine the total number of kill points in your opponent's army. You earn 3 BP for earning at least 25% of your opponent's total kill points. Nice. Tertiary objectives, alternate First Blood, Linebreaker, and Slay the Warlord for each 2 worth 2 BP to a single player, or 1 BP to each player. Sweet. So I'm going to leave this up here for a little bit, and then we're going to pop back and forth between our codexes as I describe to you their lists. So we have Thomas's Marines, Codex Marines, full Adeptus Astartes Astartes. Space Marines. All right, I'm looking at the wrong list there. I was looking at the T-Suns. This is exciting. All right, Thomas has got his good old Bobby G. 400 points. He's the Warlord. Doesn't look like anything special attached onto him. Just good old Gilliman. Then he has a Vanguard detachment, so his total command points is 7 CP, which is A-OK. So he's got Tigurius, who actually, in the good old tradition of Warzone Atlanta, there is a bounty to kill that model. He has Might of Heroes, Psychic Fortress, and Null Zone, and that is an HQ choice. He has 5 Scouts with Bolters, which are not currently on the table because they've been shot away. They had Heavy Bolters and Camo Cloaks. 2 Honor Guards. I believe those are the guys that have 2 wounds each. 3 Aggressors with Auto Bolt Storm Gauntlets and Frag Storm. He has 2 identical units of Relic Cicerone Venator, which is, I think one of them is not there anymore. I'm trying to spot it in my position here. Yeah, I think he's off the table. One got shot off. The other one is doing A-OK. These the Venators? Yep. No, they're there. They're there. One's the top left, and the other one's right where Thomas's model is. So they're doing okay. They have las cannon sponsons, hunter killer missiles, and storm bolters. Well, that's exciting. There's the Thunderfire cannon, which, if you can see, is right there, where my finger's pointing to it. Whoop. There's the Relic Leviathan Dreadnought with 2 heavy flamers, 2 storm cannon arrays, and 3 hunter killer missiles. That says hunter killer missile 3. Anyway, that's a nasty, nasty combo. Wow. And then the Repulsor, which is right in the middle next to good old Bobby G, helping him out. Twin Heavy Bolter, Iron Hail Heavy Stubber, Frag Storm Launcher, Crack Storm Launcher, Heavy Onslaught Gatling Cannon. My God. All of the DACA. If you can imagine the amount of DACA, that is a lot. Whew. Lord in heaven. We have a comment, but for some reason, I cannot read it. Oh, we can. Glory to Chaos. There you go, Andrew. Yeah, we'll have to see how that turns out. All right. Charles T-Sons. He has Ahriman on a Disc of Zinch with a Death Hex, Glamour of Zinch, and Prescience. Ah, Prescience, my favorite. Demon Prince of Zinch, and then two Demon Princes of Zinch, and his Warlord has a Dark Matter Crystal. So that's cool. Let's see if I can spot where he is. I'm pretty sure he's over there. Yep. We'll see if I can point to him. In his battalion detachment, which gets him a +5 CP. He has 2 of these. And the Supreme Command. So we're looking at 10, 11, plus the 3, 14 command points. So that is a significant amount of command points compared to Thomas's. That's a lot of rerolls, a lot of stratagems to use. So in this battalion detachment, we've got the Alpha Legion. HQ, Chaos Lord on a bike with a chainsword, combi bolter, double combi bolters, and Mark of Nurgle. Ooh, okay. Sorcerer with a bolt pistol, Delightful Agonies, Diabolic Strength, Force Sword, Mark of Slanesh. All right, for the troops, you got 38 Chaos Cultists, which were over here on the left side of the screen, and they pretty much got shot off the table because they're cultists, and they weren't really in cover. So when you're next to a Venator, that kind of happens. Then there were double Chaos Cultists. There's 9 in each squad. So very similar to the same thing, but smaller units. 2 units of Obliterators, with one with Mark of Slanesh for that beautiful Slanesh reshooting, and then Mark of Zinch. So 2 units of Obliterators. Battalion detachment, so that's the second one. Chaos Demons, okay. Oh, nice. That Chaos Allegiance is Nurgle, so there's Poxbringers, or Poxbringer, with a Miasma of Pestilence, Spoilpox Scrivener. The troops have Nurglings, 3 Nurgling Swarms, and then a crap ton of Plague Bearers, 2 units of these, 28 in one unit, and then 29 in the other one. Each one has a Plague Bearer and Plague Ridden. So they are currently in the bottom of round 2, I believe. So Thomas had his turn, shooting. And now Charles is going to town. Nice. There'll be a prescience here on the guys, the Obliterators. That went off? Yep. Oh, man. So does prescience those Obliterators that are up on the building. So they're on the middle there. If you can see where his hands are, they're right above that. He's going to Death Hex. And it fails. The Death Hex. Right. Looks like he re-rolled that. Went off on a 9. He attempted to deny, but that deny did not work. Oh boy. All the spells. Uh-oh. Oh boy. So all the psychic stuff has been happening. Psychic phase is now over. We're going over to shooting phase.
Put it on the dreadnought.
So what we're going to do, I'm going to go with these guys first and determine their...
All right. So Charles is going to shoot with these Obliterators. These are the Zinch ones, I think. Flickering Flames. Pick a friendly Zinch demon unit within 18 inches of the Psyker. Until your next psychic phase, add 1 to any wound rolls made for that unit's shooting weapon. So these guys, the Zinch Obliterators, right there. Are adding 1 to the wound rolls, which they're already an impressive unit. They have big swings, so these guys have the random shot, strength, and something. But even with that randomness, it's... Oh, AP. So even with that randomness, they're still pretty powerful. They can be super strong. But the cool thing is you can determine, before you shoot, you can determine, you roll for what your stuff is, and then choose what you want to shoot at. They're doing 2 damage each on this. Woo, that's a lot of... Ouch. So those shots and those Obliterators went into that... the Repulsor, that's the one with the heavy bolters, stubbers, and whatnot. And he did 4 damage to it, so two of those hits and wounds went into it. So he's doing those wound rolls now, wounding on 5s. 2 up save. Whew, that's a great save. All right. It's going to do Veterans of the Long War on the Slanesh Obliterators. Let me see if I can pan up that... Pan up here, right up there. Yeah, you can see him there. AP -3.
Stay alive, Dreadnought. Stay alive, Dreadnought. Alright, so they're hitting on 3
So hitting on 3s, reeling 1s. Wounding on 2s. My goodness. So wounding on 3s. Six wounds at -3 on the Dreadnought. Can Thomas do it?
Oh, like a boss!
Aww.
14, so he's down to 12.
14 down to 12 from those Obliterators, man.
Alright, let's move 2 and check in. 2, down to 1. Judson Scott. Let's see what
Get some down. Strength 7. AP -1. 3 damage. Woo! Strength 7, AP -1, 3 damage per wound. So the question is, what does he shoot at? He's thinking about it. He's thinking about, does he want to shoot the Dreadnought again? Just rolling that one. Five at -1. Readjusting this good old camera here that I'm close by.
Kelly, can you remind me of the name of the guys who dropped?
6 damage. Woo!
Hey, John, in my spreadsheet, I believe his names are flipped. I think it's Michael. Okay, so I take 3 damage. So I'm down just 2 mass gas.
All right, 9 damage left, or 9 wounds left on the repulsor. So doing some attrition-based damage there with the obliterators. Not too bad at all. Okay, all right. Yeah, so like I was saying, those swings on those obliterators, that's a heck of a thing. So they can be super ridiculous with a -3 AP, high strength, and multi-damage. So if you do those good rolls, you can have a shooting phase where you're just literally obliterating stuff. Or you could do kind of, you know, depends on what you're shooting at. You know, you could shoot at something that doesn't have a really good armor save and just annihilate it. A lot of vehicles get destroyed pretty easily by obliterators. At least thinking about these plague bearers and what he's going to do with a shooting. I think they're charging.
Should we just give this to us?
Look at these guys go.
Doesn't get the charge up.
No charge. Oh.
All right, this guy's gonna fire.
Oh man, he failed the charge. Not good. So on the Overwatch with the cannon, the Thunderfire cannon. All right, and the Overwatch annihilates him, so no charge there on that Thunderfire cannon. Oh man, that was rough. That was rough. So now we're on top of round. Top of 3? Yep. All right. Now we're on top of 3. Thomas is going to do some more digging. I'm going to check on their points here in a second. But man, that was tough. All of those good old Plague Boys were intended to get into range and charge, but unfortunately, they just didn't make it. So that's tough for that melee-focused models. So strategically here, now there's a lot of firing that's going to happen with Thomas now. That is plenty of DACA that's going to happen. I don't have a fantastic vantage point myself. I believe there's a whole mob of cultists there on the other side of the building that I can't see with my eyeballs. But on the camera, you should be able to see it. So you see the building here in the middle. It's a center building. And that one has 2 smokestacks in the center. And on the right side for y'all, You can see all those cultists on one side. Now, the rules for Giga-Bites, Warzone Giga-Bites, is a little bit different. So if you look on the top left here, we're going to look over at the